Well, it is a bittersweet night tonight as we here at News 8 say goodbye to a legend in reporting and investigative journalism. After 47 years in the business, including stints at the Grand Rapids Press and here at News 8, Ken Kolker is announcing his retirement.
Well, hi, Jennifer. Hey, my name is Ken Kolker.
For Ken Kolker, reporting the news was never just a career.
You know, you've been in the news business for 47 years, and it sort of becomes who you are. You know, it sort of becomes part of your identity.
New evidence revealed in court last
Crime reporter, investigative reporter, television journalist, Hall of Famer. Curious by instinct, relentless by temperament, he possessed the essential gift of investigative journalism, the ability to make people trust him on what was often the worst day of their lives.
As a reporter, you're supposed to be curious, right? How's that working? How is that happening?
He started young. At 18, Ken was working at WJPW Radio in Rockford. Not long after, he decided he wanted a job at the Grand Rapids Press. Instead of waiting for permission, he found another route.
Sneak in the back door of the press building, get around the secretary, go upstairs, go down the hallway, and there's Bob Becker, the sports editor. So he had no idea what was coming. I just showed up with my only 6 clips.
3 years later, he landed his first full-time reporting job at the Saginaw News. The stories came quickly. So did the realization that journalism could alter the course of a life. Ken still remembers the first time one of his stories changed a man's future.
That was the first time I went to lunch. There was a McDonald's downtown, and I stood at the counter, and I slammed my fist on the tabletops like, damn, that was good. Yeah, that felt pretty good.
For 3 decades, he lived in that world, covering police, crime, politics, the machinery of government. His work changing policies, exposing corruption, and giving voice to people who otherwise might have never been heard.
They don't owe you anything. They're not required to talk to you. They're having their worst day.
Then came an unusual turn. After 30 years in newspapers, Kolker crossed into television in 2009. Joining Wood TV 8. Like many print reporters, he once looked down on television news from the lofty perch of the newsroom.
We would be watching the news to see if we missed anything and just making fun of so other reporters were just ruthless. And then I became one.
The transition could be bumpy.
You don't like the...
So stiff, my throat would be so dry, and my hands would be filled with sweat. I was just...
It's gonna be fun. All right.
But television gave Ken a larger canvas. At News 8, his investigations helped convince Kent County to send the nearest available ambulance to cardiac arrest calls, regardless of jurisdiction. His reporting pushed Michigan prisons to collect DNA from inmates, helping to solve cold cases.
6 years after PFAS was discovered.
His reporting on Wolverine Worldwide's PFAS scandal led to state actions and lawsuits. Unparalleled journalism awarded over and over again by his broadcast peers.
Who knocked these buildings down?
I went to Ground Zero shortly after 9/11. Went to Katrina in the belly of a helicopter.
He chronicled tragedies, cold cases, and mysteries that lingered for decades. Some stories never left him, like the disappearance of Deanie Peters.
You know, when you talk to her mom, you just feel for Deanie's mom and Deanie's friends who, you know, still no clue whatever happened to Deanie Peters.
But I really thank you for that article.
Sometimes justice arrived. Ken witnessed wrongly convicted men walk free.
You know, we got to be there when he was released, which was an amazing moment.
Not every challenge came in the field. Just 6 months after arriving at Wood TV 8, Ken was diagnosed with colon cancer. He continued working while undergoing treatment and never forgot the support he received.
And 6 months after I started here, I got colon cancer. And I didn't have enough time to have any sick time. But the management here was like, whatever you need, they were there for me.
In recent years, the work became inseparable from the people around him, especially the journalists packed in that small Target 8 office where some of Michigan's most consequential reporting was produced.
I work with amazing people. I was just in the Target 8 office the other day, and I think most of us were in there, and, you know, Henry Erb's back there, Susan Sample, and I'm like, You guys realize that some of the best journalism in this state is done in this tiny little room? It's like the size of a closet, but some of the best journalism in Michigan is done in that room.
Now the deadlines will stop. For the first time in nearly 5 decades, Ken will turn his attention elsewhere.
My wife and I are both painters now. I do oil painting. She does acrylic.
It seems fitting. For 47 years, Ken painted with facts instead of oils, with curiosity instead of color. He searched for truth in courthouse files, police reports, and disaster zones, always rendering the humanity in all of us.
Thank you.
Great working with you.
Yeah, great work with you, Brian. Not so much with Carter, but that was good. Wow.
Ken Kolker.
Brian, thank you. That was way too much.
The stage is yours.
I don't know what to say other than it's been an amazing run here, getting to work with some great people, people who showed me the way, you know, early on and all the way through it, and you know, gave me the freedom to do the kind of stories that separate us from others in the state of Michigan. So it's been an honor, and I'll miss it. But I got a list of things to do at home, including I've got to stain the fence.
All right. We'll let you get on that. Ken, congratulations.
Thank you.